What it do? You don't got on my sister inside of what's it called again? Madden 24, and I'm blowing her out 84-0. I'm the Buffaloes. Watch and enjoy. I'm trying to get 200 points.
They'll try and throw for it, and this is going to be caught. Well, not sure about the need to go for two, but they get it and extend this lead out even further. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Miami's offense set and ready to go. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
And now here is another interception. Rasul Douglas picks it, and they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. And give him now 4 interceptions in this game. That's only the 3rd time this has been done since the year 2000.
I think that tells you how much better teams have gotten at throwing the football. Because if you go all the way back to 1960, 12 times before that, there have been guys who've gotten 4 interceptions or more in a game. I mean, most recently, since 2000, Delta O'Neal and D'Angelo Hall.
Now here's a pass on first down. It's knocked away and incomplete.
That's tremendous field position that they were given following the turnover, but they've still got work to do to get to field goal range, and the coverage we're seeing isn't going to make it easy.
Now Allen throwing on second down. And Diggs has it. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Allen to Diggs there for a Buffalo first. Well, big, but still not hesitating to take some shots downfield, CD. I guess they really want to hammer home their dominance in this one.
Yeah, that much is apparent, partner. If they keep completing throws like that, they'll keep that gap awfully wide as they've established already.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
So the completion good for 6 yards, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there, and they've rallied and made the tackle.
Allen will look to throw for it on 4th. He will find Diggs in the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. Stephon Diggs, an 18-yard touchdown grab. And the Bills will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. So now Allen and the Bills going to stay out and go for 2. And here's Allen off the play fake, able to get away. That's caught. And he will not make it to the goal line as his try for 2 is going to come up empty. But that's little consolation to this defense as they have been porous all game long. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And that'll be a little too hot to handle as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here. The Dolphins ready to take over on offense. But it's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. The turnover on the last drive, they had the issue in the first half as well. And that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't want to admit it.
And my goodness, another interception. Teron Johnson able to pick it inside the 20. And he is going to score. It's a pick 6 and a Bills touchdown. Well, whatever adjustments they're trying to make over on that sideline, Charles, this defense, this just seemed to be a step in front of them and not giving them a chance to implement any of those changes. And here, a pick six, and they widen the lead.
At least a step ahead, maybe even 2 steps. And right now, they are thinking hard about putting this opponent away. That turnover, it grew their lead and just totally deflated that offense. Now these next couple of series, you can take them out of the game entirely if you continue on this pace.
And he's going to go down. Can't get rid of it. So a sack on the 2-point try. So tried to throw it in for 2 points, but the D got home, brought him down.
Yeah, got home, which means there had to be good coverage. Just had nowhere to go with the ball. Typically, you try and throw quick hitters, quick slants, maybe even a quick fade. Nothing was open. He ends up getting sacked.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one. It's through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. We're in the third quarter in upstate New York with a 2nd and 10. They fake the handoff. Now Tua. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached real.
And now here is another interception. Rasul Douglas picks it, and his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. And yes, folks, that is his 5th interception, a new NFL record.
And that's absolutely phenomenal. I just have to flat out applaud him. What a great effort in this game. But let's face it, when you look back at the numbers of guys who had 4 in the past, you'll find the names of some of the greats and some guys who just had a fantastic game.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. The sack there by Bradley Chubb.
No question, that was needed by the defense because they're already trailing by a couple of scores. They had to get off the field without allowing another one. That sack on the first play, that may have derailed this drive.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. Back now in Buffalo. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Throwing on 2nd and long. Allen, and a little floater there is incomplete. Well, let's face it, not a lot left for them to prove in this game, but they're still throwing the football. I guess, of course, CD, you could always get the backup some work. There's new plays to try out. But some people, let's face it, they just want to run the score up. It's fun.
I love the way that you expressed that because you gave plenty of reasons why people like to do things. But ultimately, they just like to keep it.
And all the way home for a Bills touchdown. Stephon Diggs, 48 yards. And the Bills continue to run up the score. They lead it big here in the fourth. So now Allen and the Bills going to stay out and go for 2. Back to throw. Allen, and no, it falls incomplete. So the 2-point conversion, no good. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the fourth quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mention in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while. but everyone on that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
Play action. Now it's Tua. And going deep for Hill. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
We've seen that the deep ball has been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
Off of play action, Tagovailoa. And my goodness, another interception. Rasul Douglas picks it. And he is going to score. It's a pick six and a Bills touchdown. Well, this one was already ugly, and now it's just kind of becoming a feast on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, partner, this is a unit that knows they've got this game in the bag with this huge lead, and it's going to drive their coaches crazy because they're telling them play it straight, do all the right things, but these guys are going to be freewheeling now. All of them are going to take chances, and that one pays off with an INT and a return for 6. I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of two-point tries and see what the data tells us, because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation, this time unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats over time may bear out that running the ball will at least be the equal of throwing it in that situation.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Dolphins offense returning to the field. It's been a tough go for them. It's still without any points here in the fourth quarter. And a big deficit, Charles. But they moved the football on some drives. They just haven't had any points.
Yeah, and I know in their minds they're thinking the game plan has actually been working. We just haven't scored points. Well, isn't that the bottom line, partner? To put points on the board? So if you're moving it and you're not scoring, is it really working? Right now, they've got nothing left to lose. They might as well go for broke. As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And he'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. And now the clock will stop as he's able to get up and spike it here. Second and 10. Looking to pass. Tua. His throw incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
The Dolphins on third down. Can you believe it? 0 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Tua sets up to pass it. Hill diving, and he's got it full extension. What a catch. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the fourth quarter with how wide this advantage is. For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a positive drive and then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, if this had been a concert, you would have heard plenty of sour notes in this one. But they certainly don't want to end it on one. They want to put together a few more throws like that and at least have a final drive to give them a little bit more hope as they move forward.
On play action, here's Tua. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Hill. And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line. Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now. But as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel exactly.
And now here is another interception. Rasul Douglas picks it. And he is going to score. It's a pick six and a Bills touchdown. Well, just to add that to the list of great moments for this defense today. They've really shredded that game plan on the other side all 4 quarters. And, Charles, that pick 6, that's kind of the cherry on top.
Yeah, they did it, and I feel like I'm quoting a bad movie line, but they did it together, didn't they? Fed off of each other, every big play they made, every tackle, every pick, everything they've done. They continually built energy in this one, and how about them culminating with a pick 6?
I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
And that one bounces out of the back of the end zone, so we'll start the drive at the 25 on the touchback. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the 4th quarter, facing the big deficit. What silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big, you really have like 1 possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run, have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
Tua once again here on 2nd and 10. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Micah Hyde. And the return will stop right around the 25. Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard. He's got a man complete. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Dolphins offense returning to the field. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
They'll let this go deep for Waddle. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Micah Hyde. He's on his way. And they will finally stop him, but a great return. Gets that football all the way down to the 16-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. But their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns. And it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
Allen maybe with a free play. And he takes it into the end zone across the chalk. Now there is a flag down, but I think that's offsides on the defense.
Yeah, I think that's going to stand, partner.
Offside. Defense.
So obviously they will decline the penalty there, and the result is 6 points. So now Allen and the Bills going to stay out and go for 2. Looking to throw. Allen, it's complete, and this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And not much happening on the return. To about the 23. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Getting this out to the flat, Mostert. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. He's got his target. That's complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. It'll go as a gain of 25 on a play that started back at the 25.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. He's going to let it fly. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It's a big play there for Miami. 45 yards.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing. And if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked.
And that is going to officially draw the curtain on this one as the last throw intercepted. Picked off by Micah Hyde. And the Bills are going to take possession here as they've got it at their own 4-yard line. So not just a blowout win for them today, Charles, but a shutout blowout win as well. Clearly just a superior effort on both sides of the ball.
Hey, didn't it feel like you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown, and then the defense jumped up and said, hold it, we're getting involved as well. You're exactly right. Big points, both sides contribute.